Hello, our dear viewers. We really hope that you all are doing well. Your health and well-being status matter us the most. The world is facing global pandemic issue, that is the COVID-19 pandemic, also known as the coronavirus pandemic. So that is our topic for today, and we will be going to discuss some major relevant questions regarding the vaccination of COVID-19, and we will also tell you about some authorized and approved vaccines that are used globally to prevent this deadly virus. Here are the highlights of today's topic, that is COVID-19 vaccination. 1. Will COVID-19 vaccines provide long-term protection? 2. How quickly could COVID-19 vaccines stop the pandemic? 3. What types of COVID-19 vaccines are being developed? How would they work? 4. Will other vaccines help protect me from COVID-19? 5. What are the benefits of getting vaccinated? 6. Who should get the COVID-19 vaccines? 7. Can we stop taking precautions after being vaccinated? 8. Can I have the second dose with a different vaccine than the first dose? 9. Should I be vaccinated if I have had COVID-19? 10. Is the vaccine safe for children? 11. Do the vaccines protect against variants? 12. Comparing COVID-19 vaccines, how are they different? 13. What to do before you get to your appointment? 14. What should you do for a comfortable vaccination experience? 15. What are the possible side effects and reactions? 16. How to manage common side effects at home? 17. What to do after getting vaccinated? 18. Continuing public health measures. Let's start the topic. Will COVID-19 vaccines provide long-term protection? Because COVID vaccines have only been developed in the past months, it's too early to know the duration of protection of COVID-19 vaccines. Research is ongoing to answer this question. However, it's encouraging that available data suggests that most people who recover from COVID-19 develop an immune response that provides at least some period of protection against reinfection, although we're still learning how strong this protection is and how long it lasts. How quickly could COVID-19 vaccines stop the pandemic? The impact of COVID-19 vaccines on the pandemic will depend on several factors. These include the effectiveness of the vaccines, how quickly they are approved, manufactured, and delivered, the possible development of other variants, and how many people get vaccinated. Whilst trials have shown several COVID-19 vaccines to have high levels of efficacy, like all other vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines will not be 100% effective. WHO is working to help ensure that approved vaccines are as effective as possible, so they can have the greatest impact on the pandemic. What types of COVID-19 vaccines are being developed? How would they work? Scientists around the world are developing many potential vaccines for COVID-19. These vaccines are all designed to teach the body's immune system to safely recognize and block the virus that causes COVID-19. Several different types of potential vaccines for COVID-19 are in development, including inactivated or weakened virus vaccines, which use a form of the virus that has been inactivated or weakened so it doesn't cause disease, but still generates an immune response. Protein-based vaccines, which use harmless fragments of proteins or protein shells that mimic the COVID-19 virus to safely generate an immune response. Viral vector vaccines, which use a safe virus that cannot cause disease, but serves as a platform to produce coronavirus proteins to generate an immune response. RNA and DNA vaccines, a cutting-edge approach that uses genetically engineered RNA or DNA to generate a protein that itself safely prompts an immune response. For more information about all COVID-19 vaccines in development, see the WHO publication, which is being updated regularly. Will other vaccines help protect me from COVID-19? Currently, there is no evidence that any other vaccines, apart from those specifically designed for the SARS-CoV-2 virus, will protect against COVID-19. However, scientists are studying whether some existing vaccines, such as the Bacillus-Calmette-Guerin or BCG vaccine, which is used to prevent tuberculosis, are also effective for COVID-19. WHO will evaluate evidence from these studies when available. What are the benefits of getting vaccinated? The COVID-19 vaccines produce protection against the disease as a result of developing an immune response to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Developing immunity through vaccination means there is a reduced risk of developing the illness and its consequences. This immunity helps you fight the virus, if exposed. Getting vaccinated may also protect people around you, because if you are protected from getting infected, and from disease, you are less likely to infect someone else. This is particularly important to protect people at increased risk for severe illness from COVID-19, such as healthcare providers, older or elderly adults, and people with other medical conditions. Who should get the COVID-19 vaccines? The COVID-19 vaccines are safe for most people 18 years and older, including those with pre-existing conditions of any kind, including autoimmune disorders. These conditions include hypertension, diabetes, asthma, pulmonary, liver and kidney disease, as well as chronic infections that are stable and controlled. If supplies are limited in your area, discuss your situation with your care provider. If you have a compromised immune system, are pregnant or nursing your baby, have a history of severe allergies, particularly to a vaccine, or any of the ingredients in the vaccine, are severely frail. Can we stop taking precautions after being vaccinated? Vaccination protects you from getting seriously ill and dying from COVID-19. For the first 14 days after getting a vaccination, you do not have significant levels of protection, and then it increases gradually. For a single-dose vaccine, immunity will generally occur 2 weeks after vaccination. For 2-dose vaccines, both doses are needed to achieve the highest level of immunity possible. While a COVID-19 vaccine will protect you from serious illness and death, we still don't know the extent to which it keeps you from being infected and passing the virus on to others. To help keep others safe, continue to maintain at least a 1-meter distance from others. Cover a cough or sneeze in your elbow. Clean your hands frequently and wear a mask, particularly in enclosed, crowded or poorly ventilated spaces. Always follow guidance from local authorities based on the situation and risk where you live. Can I have the second dose with a different vaccine than the first dose? Clinical trials in some countries are looking at whether you can have a first dose from one vaccine and a second dose from a different vaccine. There isn't enough data yet to recommend this type of combination. Should I be vaccinated if I have had COVID-19? Even if you have already had COVID-19, you should be vaccinated when it is offered to you. The protection that someone gains from having COVID-19 will vary from person to person, and we also don't know how long natural immunity might last. Is the vaccine safe for children? Vaccines are usually tested in adults first, to avoid exposing children, who are still developing and growing. COVID-19 has also been a more serious and dangerous disease among older populations. Now that the vaccines have been determined to be safe for adults, they are being studied in children. Once those studies have been completed, we should know more, and guidelines will be developed. In the meantime, Make sure children continue to physical distance from others, clean their hands frequently, sneeze, and cough into their elbow, and wear a mask if age appropriate. Do the vaccines protect against variants? The COVID-19 vaccines are expected to provide at least some protection against new virus variants, and are effective at preventing serious illness and death. That's because these vaccines create a broad immune response, and any virus changes or mutations should not make vaccines completely ineffective. If any of these vaccines become less effective against one or more variants, it will be possible to change the composition of the vaccines to protect against these variants. Data continues to be collected and analyzed on new variants of the COVID-19 virus. While we are learning more, we need to do everything possible to stop the spread of the virus in order to prevent mutations that may reduce the efficacy of existing vaccines. This means staying at least 1 meter away from others, covering a cough or sneeze in your elbow, frequently cleaning your hands, wearing a mask, and avoiding poorly ventilated rooms or opening a window. Comparing the COVID-19 vaccines, how are they different? Although each COVID-19 vaccine is distinctive, all of them may help with herd immunity. Even if you're still waiting for a vaccine, observing the first people get their COVID-19 vaccinations may have felt like a huge relief. As the weeks pass by, numerous details are coming out about the efficacy of new vaccines that may be approved. It's critical to keep up, but it's also a frightening task, given the overflow of information, as well as misinformation coming at us from several ways. So, how do they differ in terms of efficacy? Here's what we know so far. The 3 vaccines authorized by the FDA are: First one is Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. On December 11, 2020, this turned out to be the first COVID-19 vaccine to receive an FDA EUA, after the positive clinical trial data was reported, which included news that the vaccine was up to 95% effective at preventing symptomatic disease. BioNTech, a German company, developed the vaccine and collaborated with Pfizer, an American company, for support with clinical trials, logistics, and manufacturing. How it works? The Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine, sold under the brand name Comirnaty, is an mRNA-based COVID-19 vaccine, which uses a relatively new technology. The Pfizer-BioNTech mRNA vaccine delivers a tiny piece of genetic code from the SARS-CoV-2 virus to host cells in the body, fundamentally giving those cells instructions, or blueprints, for making copies of spike proteins, the spikes you see sticking out of the coronavirus in images. The spikes penetrate and infect the host cells. These proteins stimulate an immune response, producing antibodies, and developing memory cells that will recognize and respond if the body is infected with the actual virus. It is authorized for use in people aged 12 years and older to provide protection against infection by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19. 2 shots of vaccine are given 21 days apart. How well it works? It has 95% efficacy in preventing COVID-19 in those without prior infection. The researchers report that the vaccine was equally effective across a variety of different types of people and variables, including age, gender, race, ethnicity, and body mass index or BMI, or presence of other medical conditions. In clinical trials, the vaccine was 100% effective at preventing severe disease. How well it works on virus mutations? In early May, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was found to be more than 95% effective against severe disease or death from the variants first detected in the United Kingdom, that is, B.1.1.7, and South Africa, that is, B.1.351, in 2 studies based on real-world use of the vaccine. Second one is Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. Moderna's vaccine was the second one, authorized for emergency use in the US. It received FDA EUA on December 18, 2020, about a week after the Pfizer vaccine. The Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, codenamed mRNA 1273, is a COVID-19 vaccine developed by Moderna, the United States National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, that is, NIAID, and the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, or BARDA. The Moderna COVID-19 vaccine is authorized for use at some level in 45 countries, including the United States, Canada, the European Union, the United Kingdom, Israel, and Singapore. How it works? It is an RNA vaccine composed of nucleoside-modified mRNA, encoding a spike protein of SARS-CoV-2, which is encapsulated in lipid nanoparticles. It is used in people aged 18 years and older to provide protection against infection by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which causes COVID-19. It is designed to be administered as 2 half a milliliter doses, given by intramuscular injection, at an interval of 4 weeks apart. How well it works? It is 94.1% effective at preventing symptomatic infection in people with no evidence of previous COVID-19 infection. The vaccine has shown to have high efficacy in clinical trials among people of diverse age, sex, race, and ethnicity categories, and among persons with underlying medical conditions. Healthcare personnel, first responders, and other essential and frontline workers showed the vaccine to be 90% effective upon full immunization, at least 14 days after the second dose in real-world conditions. How well it works on virus mutations? Some research has suggested that Moderna vaccine may provide protection against the B.1.1.7 and B.1.351 variants. Researchers are still studying this. Third one is Janssen or Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. On February 27, 2021, the FDA granted emergency use approval for this different type of vaccine, called a carrier, or virus vector, vaccine. During an investigation regarding reports of 6 rare, but serious clotting problems among women ages 18 to 48, occurring 6 to 13 days after vaccination, the individual states were allowed to make final decisions regarding the usage of vaccine. On April 23, the Food and Drug Administration, that is, FDA, stopped its suggested pause on the vaccine and started adding a warning label about a rare, but potentially serious, blood clotting disorder. This resumes vaccinations with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The Janssen, or Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine, is a COVID-19 vaccine that was developed by Janssen Vaccines in Leiden, Netherlands, and its Belgian parent company Janssen Pharmaceuticals, subsidiary of American company Johnson & Johnson. In comparison to the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, this one is easier to store, that is at refrigerator temperature, and requires only a single shot, which has made it easier to distribute and administer. How it works? It is a viral vector vaccine, based on a human adenovirus, that has been modified to contain the gene for making the spike protein of the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. The body's immune system responds to this spike protein to produce antibodies. It is recommended for adults 18 and older. The vaccine requires only 1 dose. In November, Johnson & Johnson announced it would launch a second phase 3 clinical trial to study using 2 doses, 2 months apart, to see if that regimen will provide better protection. How well it works? It has 72% overall efficacy and 86% efficacy against severe disease in the US. How well it works on virus mutations? This vaccine's effectiveness has been shown to offer protection against the B.1.1.7 variant. According to the investigations the FDA released in late February, there was 64% total efficacy and 82% efficacy against severe disease in South Africa, where the B.1.351 variant was originally spotted. Two vaccines which are not, yet, available in the U.S. include Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Developed by Oxford University and AstraZeneca, it is given by intramuscular injection, using as a vector the modified chimpanzee adenovirus Ch. OX1. The Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, codenamed AZD1222, is sold under the brand names Covishield and Vaxzevria among others. This vaccine is currently being distributed in the United Kingdom and other countries. It is cheaper to make per dose, and it can be stored, transported, and handled in normal refrigeration for at least 6 months. It was temporarily suspended in some countries in March after a small number of recipients developed blood clots. In April, a European Medicines Agency, that is, EMA, Safety Committee, decided that unusual blood clots with low blood platelets should be listed as very rare side effects that could occur within 2 weeks of receiving the vaccine. UK has called for further investigation. EMA regulators stressed that the benefits of the vaccine still outweigh the risks. How it works? Like the Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, this is a carrier vaccine, made from a modified version of a harmless adenovirus. The final product contains the spike protein, found in SARS-CoV-2. When that protein reaches the body's cells, the immune system launches a defense, producing antibodies and memory cells to protect against an actual SARS-CoV-2 infection. It is recommended for adults 18 and older. 2 doses are given 4 to 12 weeks apart. How well it works? In March, AstraZeneca updated its data analysis of its Phase 3 trials, indicating its vaccine to be 76% effective at reducing the risk of symptomatic disease, 15 days or more after receiving the 2 doses, and 100% against severe disease. The company also said the vaccine was 85% effective in preventing COVID-19 in people over 65. How well it works on virus mutations? A paper in early February, which is not yet peer-reviewed, cited 74.6% efficacy against the B.1.1.7 variant. However, the vaccine did not protect as well against mild and moderate cases in people infected with the B.1.351 variant. Next is Novobax COVID-19 vaccine. The Novobax COVID-19 vaccine, codenamed NVX-CoV2373, and also called SARS-CoV-2-RS, that is, recombinant spike protein nanoparticle with matrix M1 adjuvant, is a COVID-19 vaccine candidate developed by Novobax and the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, that is, CEPI, and is undergoing trials in India under the brand name Covovax. This vaccine has been shown to be effective, not only against COVID-19, but also against the mutations that have emerged in Great Britain and, to a lesser extent, South Africa. How it works? It contains the spike protein of the coronavirus itself, but formulated as a nanoparticle, which cannot cause disease. When the vaccine is injected, this stimulates the immune system to produce antibodies and T-cell immune responses. The vaccine is being studied in adults ages 18 to 84. It requires 2 doses. How well it works? It has 96.4% efficacy in reducing mild and moderate disease. It is 100% against severe disease, from the original strain of COVID-19. How well it works on virus mutations? It has 86.3% efficacy in the United Kingdom, where the B.1.1.7 variant is spreading. The shot has been shown to be 55.4% efficacious in a Phase 2b trial against the B.1.351 variant among the HIV-negative trial participants. Now, we will discuss some other COVID-19 vaccines in succession. Sputnik V. Sputnik V is an adenovirus viral vector vaccine for COVID-19, developed by the Gamaleya Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology. It was registered on August 11, 2020, by the Russian Ministry of Health, as Covid-Vac. The V in its name is the letter, and not the Roman numeral. Covid-Vac was initially approved for distribution in Russia, and then in 59 other countries. How it works? It is a two-component vaccine, in which adenovirus serotypes 5 and 26 are used. Adenovirus is used as a container to deliver the coronavirus gene to cells and initiate the synthesis of new coronaviruses enveloped proteins, introducing the immune system to a potential enemy. This vaccine has proven to be equally effective for all age groups. It uses different vectors for the two shots, given 3 weeks apart. How well it works? Russia has approved a single-dose version of the Sputnik V COVID-19 vaccine, after it showed almost 80% efficacy. How well it works on virus mutations? Russia's Sputnik V shot is less effective against the South African COVID-19 variant, but still does better than other vaccines. A study carried out by Argentina's Institute of Virology of the National University of Córdoba and the government of Córdoba confirmed that the immunity generated to vaccination with Sputnik V neutralizes the Manaus, that is, Brazilian, variant, in those who received one dose, as well as subjects inoculated with 2 doses of the vaccine. Upcoming is Sputnik Light. Sputnik Light is a single-dose COVID-19 vaccine, developed by the Gamaleya Research Institute of Epidemiology and Microbiology. The Sputnik Light vaccine has simple storage requirements, at +2 to +8 degrees Celsius, which provide for easy logistics. How it works? It actually consists of the first dose of the Sputnik V vaccine, which is based on the Ad26 vector. It can be used for people aged 18 to 60 years. It is a one-shot vaccine. How well it works? The 79.4% efficacy rate of the vaccine, called Sputnik Light, is based on an analysis of real-world data, rather than a standard clinical trial. How well it works on virus mutations? The developers of the vaccine said, it has proven effective against all new strains of COVID-19. Upcoming is Coronavac or Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine. Coronavac, also known as the Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine, developed by the Chinese company Sinovac Biotech. It was Phase 3 clinical trialed in Brazil, Chile, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Turkey, and relies on traditional technology, similar to BBIBP-CorV and BBV-152, other inactivated virus COVID-19 vaccines. Coronavac does not need to be frozen, and both the final product and the raw material for formulating Coronavac can be transported refrigerated at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius or 36 to 46 degrees Fahrenheit, temperatures at which flu vaccines are kept. How it works? It is an inactivated virus COVID-19 vaccine, and it uses a traditional technology that is similar to the inactivated polio vaccine. It works by using killed particles to expose the immune system of the body to the virus without a serious disease response. It showed remarkable safety, across all age groups, including elderly. 2 doses of this vaccine are administered, on 0 by 14 to 28 days schedule. How well it works? A study of millions of Chileans who received Coronavac found it 65% effective against symptomatic COVID-19, 87% against hospitalization, 90% against ICU admissions, and 86% against deaths. In Indonesia, real-world data showed 94% of inoculated healthcare workers protected against symptomatic infection by the vaccine, beating results in clinical trials. Phase 3 results from Brazil had previously showed 50.7% efficacy at preventing symptomatic infections and 83.7% effective in preventing mild cases needing treatment. Efficacy against symptomatic infections increased to 62.3% with an interval of 21 days or more between the doses. Final Phase 3 results from Turkey announced on March 3, 2021 showed an efficacy of 84%. How well it works on virus mutations? On March 10, Coronavac was found to be efficient against 3 variants of COVID-19 in the country: British B.1.1.7, South African 501.B2, and Brazil's B.1.1.28, from which variants P.1 from Manaus and P.2 from Rio de Janeiro are derived. Adjacent is Sinopharm BBIBP-CorV. Sinopharm BBIBP-CorV, also known as the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine, is one of 2 inactivated virus COVID-19 vaccines developed by Sinopharm. It completed Phase 3 trials in Argentina, Bahrain, Egypt, Morocco, Pakistan, Peru, and the United Arab Emirates, that is, UAE, with over 60,000 participants. In December 2020, UAE's Ministry of Health and Prevention announced the official registration of BBIBP-CorV after an interim analysis of Phase 3 results. BBIBP-CorV could be transported and stored at normal refrigerated temperatures. How it works? BBIBP-CorV shares similar technology with Coronavac and BBV-152, other inactivated virus vaccines for COVID-19. The vaccine is not recommended for persons younger than 18 years of age, pending the results of further studies in that age group. WHO recommends the use of this vaccine in pregnant women when the benefits of vaccination outweigh the risk. Vaccine effectiveness is expected to be similar in lactating women as in other adults. SAGE recommends the use of this vaccine as 2 doses of half a milliliter given intramuscularly. WHO recommends an interval of 3 to 4 weeks between the doses. How well it works? A large multi-country Phase 3 trial has shown that 2 doses, administered at an interval of 21 days, have an efficacy of 79% against symptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection 14 or more days after the second dose. Vaccine efficacy against hospitalization was 79%. How well it works on virus mutations? In February, lab studies of 12 serum samples taken from recipients of BBIBP-CorV and ZF2001 retained neutralizing activity against 501.B2 variant. Next is Covaxin COVID-19 vaccine. Covaxin is an inactivated virus-based COVID-19 vaccine, developed by Bharat Biotech, in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research. India's regulators gave the Covaxin vaccine an emergency approval in January, while the 3rd phase of the trial was still underway. It had promised to provide efficacy data for the vaccine by February, which it has now done. The vaccine can be stored at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. How it works? As it is an inactivated vaccine, it uses a more traditional technology, that is like inactivated polio vaccine. Data is not currently available to establish vaccine safety and efficacy in HIV and other immunocompromised patients. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you should not get the vaccine, as it has not been studied in pregnant and nursing women. Its pediatric trial, involving the children of 2 to 18 years, will begin on June 1, 2021. It is 2-dose jab, recommended to be taken 28 days apart. How well it works? The vaccine has an efficacy rate of 81%, preliminary data from its phase 3 trial shows. How well it works on virus mutations? Studies show that Biotech's COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin demonstrates potential effectiveness against the Brazilian variant of the coronavirus, apart from being effective against the UK and Indian double mutant variants. Last one is Convidicia. AD5-nCoV, trade-named Convidicia, is developed by Cansino Biologics. It conducted its phase 3 trials in Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Pakistan, Russia, and Saudi Arabia, with 40,000 participants. While its efficacy rates are lower than the Pfizer BioNTech and Moderna vaccines, its single-dose regimen and normal refrigerator storage requirement, 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, could make it a favorable option for many countries. How it works? It is a viral vector vaccine similar to AstraZeneca's AZD1222. It is a single-dose, viral vector vaccine for COVID-19. How well it works? The interim analysis data of the phase 3 clinical trial of Convidicia shows that Convidicia has an overall efficacy of 65.28% at preventing all symptomatic COVID-19 disease, 28 days after single-dose vaccination, and 68.83% at preventing all symptomatic COVID-19 disease, 14 days after single-dose vaccination. What to do before you get to your appointment? Before you arrive at your vaccination appointment, talk to your healthcare provider about any questions or concerns you may have about vaccination. Plan which strategies you'll use during vaccination to limit discomfort or pain. Contact your provincial or territorial health authority if you have additional questions about how to prepare for your vaccination. What should you do for a comfortable vaccination experience? Some people may experience pain or discomfort from vaccination because of the needle. But there are a number of techniques you can use to make the vaccination more comfortable and limit pain or discomfort. Some effective tactics include: sit upright during vaccination. Wear a short-sleeved or loose-fitting top. Relax your arm by letting it feel loose and jiggly. Use deep breathing to help you relax and feel calm. If you feel dizzy or faint, tell the person who's vaccinating you right away. Distract yourself by reading or listening to music or have a conversation. Talk to your healthcare provider ahead of time about pain relief that you can take. What are the possible side effects and reactions? After getting vaccinated, it's common and normal to have temporary side effects. These can last a few hours to a few days after vaccination. This is the body's natural response, as it's working hard to build protection against the disease. Common vaccine side effects may include symptoms at the injection site, such as redness, soreness, and swelling. Flu-like symptoms, such as chills, fatigue, joint pain, headache, mild fever, and muscle aches. Allergic or anaphylactic reactions are very rare. Symptoms of an allergic reaction include hives or bumps on the skin that are often very itchy, swelling of the face, tongue or throat, difficulty breathing. How to manage common side effects at home? You can take medicine after your vaccination to help with any pain or to lower a fever. Ask your health care provider what they recommend managing symptoms. You can also apply a clean, cool, wet washcloth over the area you received the injection. Use or exercise your arm. Drink plenty of fluids. Call the medical emergency number right away if you develop any serious symptoms after vaccination or symptoms that could be an allergic reaction. What to do after getting vaccinated? The person vaccinating you will let you know where to wait and for how long after vaccination. The usual wait time is about 15 minutes or more. This allows time for you to be watched for possible reactions or side effects. Let someone know if you're experiencing any symptoms following vaccination. After vaccination, ask for a record of any vaccines you receive. Most COVID-19 vaccines require 2 doses. While current evidence shows good effectiveness after 1 dose, a second dose is essential for longer lasting and optimal protection. For your second dose, return at the time advised by your health care provider. It isn't yet known whether the spread of COVID-19 can be stopped by vaccination alone. Because of this, it's essential that everyone continue to follow public health measures to help stop the spread of COVID-19 in our communities. As more vaccines are given, some of the more restrictive public health measures can be lifted. Thank you so much for your time. We really hope that you will like this video. Don't forget to give us your feedback about how much you find it helpful in understanding the COVID-19 vaccination and its relevant queries. Stay safe and stay home, and don't forget to get yourself vaccinated. Goodbye.